Official Jujutsu Kaisen Translator Steady here, welcoming you to a brand new video series in which we'll be taking inspiration from anime and manga and those delicious looking eats, treats, and enjoy some beats as we cook up some dishes that even Soma would be proud of and have Goku asking for seconds and probably more. Also, rest assured that all recipes in this video series will be extremely easy to make and always only with a handful of ingredients necessary. Those which are most likely easily obtained no matter where you live. For our inaugural video, I'm going to have to kick it off with Jujutsu Kaisen and a sweet treat that's a favorite of the GOAT himself. And the best news is, you only need 2 ingredients to whip up this vibrantly colored local favorite of Sendai, Japan. Also, for those of you coming back to the video to perhaps use the recipe now that you've got your ingredients and tools, or just don't want to listen to a little background to the food's origin or its anime inspiration, I understand and have left timestamps in the description, so feel free to fast travel to your heart's content. Satoru Gojo, the self-proclaimed and also proven strongest jutsu sorcerer alive. However, he's perhaps also the strongest sweet tooth alive as well. We get our first look at Gojo in action as he comes in to save the day immediately after Yuji eats a little treat himself, and the situation at the school has taken a turn for the worse. Amidst the mayhem though, Fushiguro is told to hold on to these guys, which Gojo tells Fushiguro are Kikufuku Mochi, from Kikusuyan Japanese confectionery shop in Sendai, where they do have multiple branches. Now, Sendai is the largest city of Miyagi Prefecture, which is in Tohoku, the northern region of Japan, but not as far as Hokkaido. Not to mention also the home of our protagonist, Yuji Itadori. In addition, fans of Sengoku Basara and Japanese history in general might know of the one-eyed dragon Masamune Date. Sendai and Tohoku, then known as Oshu, was home to the Date clan. The Kikufuku in the name is just that, a name for the sweet, roughly meaning joy and fortune. The store website even describes this sweet as something which brings happiness and puts a smile on the faces of those who eat it. Mochi is the sticky, chewy delight made from sweet rice, which no doubt most anime and manga fans will be familiar with, and perhaps even eaten in mochi ice cream form, or perhaps in a more traditional form, like with anko or sweet red bean paste, or the savory soy sauce variety of dango, or grilled and wrapped in nori or dried seaweed. However, our menu for the day comes immediately after this when Gojo claims his personal recommendation is the Zunda and cream flavor. Now, even the most seasoned fanatics of Japanese food would be forgiven if Zunda doesn't ring a bell. After all, you might even have a hard time finding a Japanese person who isn't from the Tohoku region to tell you what it is. One look at the English manga, though, will give us a big hint to what this mystery sweet is. Edamame and cream is our translation which we went with in the manga. So is edamame at least a little more of a familiar term than Zunda? If not, worry not, because although I feel like you'll find many more people who know what edamame is compared to not more than 5 years ago, admittedly, compared to the likes of sushi, ramen, or tempura, it's certainly not the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Japanese food. Although, I can almost guarantee that you'll know what it is. Young soybeans, immature soybeans, vegetable type soybeans, whatever you want to call it. It's basically soybeans picked while they're still green and before they get a chance to mature into these types of soybeans, where they're used for things like soy milk, tofu, and soy sauce. The most typical way you'll see edamame prepared is boiled in shell and lightly salted to accompany some beer or sake. Similar to how a bowl of salted nuts will make that beer taste that much better. There are variations on this preparation, whether it be with a little added spice or seasoning, or you might eat it lightly stewed with some vegetables. But the lesson here being that even in Japan, you might get a couple of funny looks putting edamame and dessert in the same sentence. But in the Tohoku region, and specifically Sendai, it's the local favorite in which edamame is mixed together with sugar and turned into a paste. Very simple, but very vibrant in color and very delicious. And although you can eat it as is, it's often used as a topping or filler for mochi, but the chain Zunda Sario, which has expanded to other regions of Japan, has made it their prime ingredient for a variety of sweets such as Zunda shakes and Zunda cakes, to go along with the traditional preparation. They also have matcha flavored items, but clearly they have that beautiful green theme going on. Alright, let's head into what you'll need to make this neon green delight, as well as the simple steps of preparation so you can jumpstart that cursed energy and kick ass like Gojo sensei. So, shall we get cooking? In order to make zunda, you'll really only need frozen edamame and sugar. Now, edamame is something which years ago wouldn't be at your typical Western supermarket, although if you haven't checked recently, I think you'd be surprised finding it sitting next to your carrots and peas in the frozen aisle. Not to mention for most likely a very reasonable price. I found some just in time for a 3 for $5 deal at my local Safeway in 1-pound bags. As far as tools, we'll be needing a pot to cook the edamame. Oh, hey guys, what are you doing there? Everyone say hi to Gojo Satoru, as well as Itadori Yuji, to go by their Japanese order of name. We'll also need a few bowls and something to turn those beautiful green beans into a paste. Namely a blender or food processor of some sort, or if you don't have that, a couple of Ziploc bags and a mashing tool can be used to improvise. Although I really do recommend using a blender. Or if you are some sort of cooking wizard and have a mortar and pestle around, that's certainly the closest you'll get to the traditional way of using a Japanese style mortar known as a suribachi. But that's pretty much all you'll need to make zunda. Oh, one more thing. I should preface this recipe by saying that the following measurements and preparation are my personal preference. I recommend small changes to things like the edamame to sugar ratio or the length of blending, and a little trial and error to get your desired sweetness and texture. But now that you got everything you need, let me show you how to make zunda.
One eternity later.